we're going to hear what Ms. Vaughn has to say.
Yeah, I'm not going to stay on because I know that people want to get in. But I was just basically saying the episode was quite uneventful and very lackluster, to be quite frank. I mean, it should not have been pegged as a mid-season finale. It just should have been pegged as the regular episode that it was. I mean, nothing happened. They spent entirely too much time on things and people nobody cares about. I mean, if Zach had said he needed to get his phone one more time, in the words of Hattie Mae, if he had said he needed to get his phone one more again, I was going to lose it. And if Maurice had said to Q one more time that he was not going to accompany him in the shower, I was going to scream. It was just like so much time was wasted on things nobody cared about. Honestly, the ending should have been the beginning. It's just the truth. It's the truth. It's the truth. I mean, he gave us I don't even want to say, like you go to a restaurant and you get an appetizer and it's an appetizer you're really looking forward to. And then the server literally lets you take a bite and comes and takes the plate away. That's what happened.
Or it's the appetizer that's real small, but it's real banging. But
right.
The entree's trash.
Right.
Like,
right.
Whole meal trash. And it's like,
I mean, literally, he just should have switched the scenes. The beginning, the first half, literally should have been the ending half, and what happened at the end should have been the beginning. That's where the time should have been spent. Because to me personally, there was a lot of depth. Even though I have my issues with Danni, I will give her kudos for tonight, and I will give her kudos during the time that Karen was insistent on speaking to Zach, and they had that meeting at her apartment. And after he was gone, she just embraced Karen and was like, he did say it. Same thing tonight. I will give her kudos for that. She wanted the truth. She told the truth. But I just think that there was so much more. It was so much depth there that we could have expounded on had that been at the front versus the beginning. And really and truly,
I was almost in tears watching.
Yeah, I mean, it was very deep. It was very profound.
It was so deep. I was like, this is what I'm talking about.
It was very profound.
And for people I get it. Y'all don't like Karen. Y'all think she's crazy. But I think that it's a wonderful depiction of what we actually go through depending on the season that we are in life. And when I tell you, watching Karen tonight felt like I was back in like 2008, 2009 with me and my homegirls running after these raggedy Negroes and trying to rationalize stuff with each other. I was like, well, God damn it, put me on the screen then.
It's true. And look, the trip to Andy's, that could have been cut out. She never needed to go over there. She never needed to go to Andy's. That was a waste of time. She should have just made the beeline straight to Danny's house.
It wouldn't have been, though, if, and I'm going to give, and this is why we see each other, Vaughn, because I'm giving Danny credit for tonight, too. She showed up as her real friend tonight.
Yeah, she did.
Andy is still so preoccupied with herself and her bullshit. This could have been a Karen tour of getting the truth and love from her friends tonight. But Andy dropped the ball. I ain't even going to hold you.
But you know what? I will say this. I love to play devil's advocate. Mm-hmm. I'm going to play devil's advocate just for a second. Even had Gary not been a factor in coming up, Karen would have never got the truth from Andy. Never. Never. It was never going to happen.
She's not there right now with her friend.
It never was going to happen. She would have did the same thing that we saw her do. Karen. No.
Why, girl? You ask her why, and then you don't even really register.
Exactly. When every time Karen tried to go to that place with Danny, she cut her off. She cut her off at the head. This is like, no, Karen. Do I need to go get a pen and paper and write down the list of things that he's done to you? It's just like, girl, come on. So yeah, that's what you need. I give Danni a lot of flack. I do. But in this moment, she gets her claps and finger snaps.
So also, let's speak on this, Vaughn, because I would love to know your perspective. Do you think that this is also the perfect timing? Because I think that sometimes when it comes to our friends and as we're going through stuff, specifically breakups, you can't necessarily come out the gate and say all that she said tonight to her.
Yeah.
When Karen first started this, Karen needed to have the multiple conversations with Zach. She needed to try Fatima and get shut down. She needed to, do what she did at Danny's house before. Because now you have all of this that you can quantify too when you speak it to your friend of like, okay, girl, you have been doing this. I have been, watching, letting you do it. All of this is going on. And you finally come to me and say that you want the truth. Now I can give you not only the truth of what happened in your relationship, but I can give you the truth of what happened over the last few weeks.
Exactly.
And let's break it down what it is, what it ain't. And this is what I've been trying to get people when I'm speaking in my videos. People are like, oh, you just giving Karen all of this grace and all these excuses. I'm like, no, she's suffering.
No, she is.
This is a part of it.
For a person who works in behavioral health and who is a licensed therapist, Karen is definitely experiencing, she's going through the stages of grief.
Stages of grief.
Look, Kubler-Ross. Just look it up. Google it. Kubler-Ross. She's going through the stages of grief. And the thing is, the stages of grief aren't in the necessary order that is listed in terms of, you can be in denial 1 minute, you can be angry the next minute. So Karen is literally going through the stages of grief. So it's frustrating to see, honestly, but I get it. We both get it. But I will tell you what was the.
But I think we also might have both lived it. That's probably why.
Exactly. Been there, done that, girl.
I don't think I've been in love like her before.
Exactly. Been there, done that. But I'm gonna say this, and I'm gonna go and let somebody else get on. This was the pearl, the coup de grace. When Danni told Karen, what did she say? She said, what did she tell? I lost it just that quickly. What did she tell Karen?
Take your time, boo, because you're out here spitting gems of facts.
What did she tell Karen? She said, oh, this is it. I just got it. Just came back to me. I had a moment. Karen goes, but Danni, he's changing. Danni said, for her. For you, same old Zach, deuces. I'm out.
Before she even said it, I was like, for her.
Yes.
When she said it, I was just like.
And I'm gonna tell you, I'm gonna say one more thing. I'm grabbing my water. Look, this may be harsh, but you're gonna get it. At some point during this season, because I did read the episode synopsis for the season, where I believe that Karen is going to try to talk to Zach again to express how she genuinely feels. That needs to happen one final time. She needs to literally be shut down one final time because honestly, I don't believe Karen is in much denial as people think she is. I think she's clear as to what's going on. It's just that she just hasn't allowed herself to fully come to a place of acceptance. That's different.
Yep.
That's different. Being in denial and fully being accepting of something or not, they're two totally different things. So she has not come to a place of acceptance. Yep. And so that's her struggle. And that's the road.
And part of that, to me, the part of the thing of the acceptance is a twofold thing. And this is something I was excited to share with people on live tonight. For me, it's one thing to know that he still loves you and to see him change and get better in this situation. Because to me, it's a whole other conversation around the timing of this.
Right.
Because I don't know if Fatima would have been able to stick it out if she would have gotten Karen's Zach. But that's a whole other conversation.
Oh no.
Also, part of the reason why she's struggling with the acceptance right now, and I'm speaking from just my experience, you have a bit of the ego of like, but I am great too. Like, what am I not good enough? Oh no, I'm better than her. Let me show that I can out, and you be out here in these little ghetto ass Olympics, flipping and turning for these dudes because it's just a multitude of emotions and things that are happening. And that's another thing that I think that we're about to see in reference to the I'm gonna get them back. To me, that's the moment of like, well, no, you're basically telling me that I'm not good as her. Oh, you got me up. Now, you know what I'm saying? She has to go through that as well because
she has to go through that. And
look, about Karen. To me, Zach moving on has nothing to do.
It has nothing to do with it. It doesn't. But for her, you and I putting ourselves in her shoes, for her, it feels like that. It does feel like that for her, even though it's definitely disconnected and one has nothing to do with the other. It's never been about her. The thing is, when Aaron and Danni, and I'm saying those two specifically because it's been those two specifically who has literally said to her, Karen, you're only remembering the good. You're not remembering the negative. Like you're not allowing yourself to remember the negative. So, you know, I hate to see her go through this, but the reality is she's in a place of rationality. She's not even being rational. When she called Fatima out her name, and then she told Danni, why are you so close to her? And Danni was like, I'm not. And it's the truth because they don't even know Fatima. Mm-hmm. They have literally, outside of the meeting at Andy's penthouse, they've only been in Fatima's presence on 2 occasions. Yep. At the mock wedding, and then at I call it the hot stove episode in season 2, where Karen had the glow, Mm-hmm. That does not make you close to somebody being in their presence a total of 3 times. Mm-hmm. So that just lets you know that she is just disconnected at the moment. She is not even being rational, and you could see how irrational it was.
They are disconnected from her because in the moment
that
they all getting together, like if you go back to it, the last moment that they saw them together, they were very welcoming to her.
That's right.
About that because to me that was supposed to be Karen's night, and the fact that y'all had created a moment to welcome her in without even really checking on
exactly
what Karen was. I could understand how she would go there.
Oh no, I can
also like the emotions of it all.
Totally.
The ego of it all is
totally
roll into it too.
Totally.
So she's 100% right, but it's almost creating the perfect storm.
It is.
And the disconnection from your friends.
Exactly.
The breakup. It's literally creating a perfect storm for her to act these things out. And I really enjoy seeing Karen because I really feel like all that we're seeing is stuff that women go through all the time, and we might not say. We might not. Like, I know I had a few crazy breakups, and I was thinking some stuff. I had done some stuff, but I was also thinking some stuff that some people will never even know. And Karen is acting out on it, and I think that it's great because it gives us a chance to look at ourselves by way of looking at this character.
Look, Ebony Obsidian does an awesome job as Karen.
She does. Her down.
She does. All of the hand claps and finger snaps for Ebony Obsidian. She plays the hell out of Karen. And this is why she is probably the most hated character on the show, because she's doing her job. That's when you know as an actor, you're doing your job. Yeah. She is the most talked about and the most person with the most disdain for them on all of the forums. I'll say that all the time. As much as people ride for Fatima and all of this kind of stuff, they're not talking about them nearly as much as they're talking about Karen. That's just the truth. It's very true.
Facts.
It's been wonderful, Erica.
I'm so glad that you found my channel, and I adore all of your comments and your contributions. This was wonderful. I'm glad you were.
This has been wonderful. Look, I get those notifications, so I saw immediately when you were coming up live. I'm like, oh, I gotta chime in.